Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Tonight I've got 3 terrifying encounters to share with you. One being a Dogman encounter, our second is a subscriber Bigfoot encounter, and third and last is an unknown cryptid. Before we get into these encounters, a couple links I'd like to share with you as well. I am a commercial-free channel, so I rely on my PayPal, Patreon, and merch link to help keep this channel growing and going. Also, I have a second channel for creepypasta, fan fiction, and scary voice acting. If that's anything that you're into, follow the link below and give those stories a listen. You might just like them. And with that, guys, let's get on with these encounters. Shall we? Our first encounter of the evening is a Dogman encounter. I used to live in Louisville, Colorado. On a day I'm driving around and I heard a very loud female human scream. I start driving in that direction to see if anyone needs help. When I got close to where I heard the sound, a coyote walks across the street on his hind legs. It's taller than me, so over 3 times the size of any other coyote in this area. As it walks by, it looks straight into my eyes and screams again. Its screams were so loud that it hurt my ears and made me jump. Its eyes glowed, but that was probably just reflections from my headlights. As I drove past, it dropped on all 4s and ran off. This wasn't exactly in the middle of nowhere either. It was in the middle of my town, close to hotels, restaurants, golf course, and a few miles from the school. Still, I've never heard anyone else encountering a creature like this in the area before or since. Animal control asked me if it was possibly someone wearing a costume. Our second encounter of the evening is a subscriber Bigfoot encounter. I've only shared this experience with a few people in the years since it happened. It was the first Tuesday of Pennsylvania deer rifle season, December 3rd, 2013. I've always been an avid hunter, and I would wake up very early in the morning to get into the woods before daylight. I would be in the woods at 4:30 in the morning. Having to hunt on state game lands meant beating other people into the woods to get a decent spot. When I got to the parking area around 4:15, no one else was there, so I walked into the woods, not using a flashlight, only walking by moonlight. I walked through the field into the tree line and started on the path to my spot. I came to the intersection and the path. One way went left down the mountain, the other way went right. I went right because my spot was on the other side. Roughly 50 yards after making the right-hand turn, I smelled what I could only describe as hot garbage. It hit me in the face like, hot dumpster juice in the middle of August. So I stopped dead, turned on my flashlight, expecting to see piles of garbage. Nothing. No garbage, nothing dead, just the hot garbage smell. Keep in mind, this is December, so it's cold out. High 20s, low 30s, so even if there was garbage, it shouldn't smell that bad. So I kinda thought nothing of it. I followed the path to my spot, which was down over the ridge from the garbage smell. Roughly maybe 40 feet down, that leads into a grass field where I would sit. I set up my seat, getting settled for about 2 minutes. That's when the rocks started coming down the ridge. First rock startled me, causing me to turn on my light again, scanning the field, hoping to see a reflection of a deer, but nothing was there. I sat back down, another rock comes down the ridge. This time I stand up and go out into the grass field with the flashlight and the pistol that I carry while I'm hunting. Scanning again, nothing. Purposely waiting in the field for about 5 minutes. Now I'm getting angry, assuming another hunter is messing with me because I'm in their spot. I sit down again. The third rock, sounding larger than the others, comes tumbling down the ridge. I don't get up this time. Not 2 minutes after that, another rock, not tumbled, but sounded as if it was thrown off the ridge and landed in the field. Now, fuck that, I'm pissed. I gather up my gear and started back up the trail to the ridge. I get to the top of the ridge, scanning with my light the whole time. Nothing, no eyes, no other hunter. I get to the spot where I smelled the hot garbage. Nothing. The smell is gone. Finally, it clicked in my head. It may not have been another person, possibly something else. I've heard other stories of people's Bigfoot experiences, a lot of which remark on how bad it smelled. Screw this. I all but ran out of the woods, and to top it off, no other vehicles were in the parking area when I got out of the woods. This took place in Pennsylvania State Game Lands 229 outside of Tremont. I later come to find out that a coworker of mine had actually seen a bipedal cross in front of his car within 2 miles of the location of my experience. So maybe they're real, I don't know. But I definitely had an experience that I won't forget. Our third and final encounter of the evening is an unidentified cryptid. I was told stories before I started working at this factory that I am at right now, at the end of what is considered to be one of the most haunted roads in West Virginia. The workers whispered about it, made jokes, but I've never seen anything. The owl beast, as they call it. It resembles a naked man. When standing straight is about 7 feet tall, but is spotted crouching most of the time. It has poultry-looking skin, but is featherless. Its head looks like a featherless owl, with a fleshy beak. I've worked here for 5 years and never saw anything. Night before last Christmas Eve night, early into Christmas morning, I sat in my normal spot when suddenly all the motion detector lights started kicking on, one after another in sequence, almost like something was running down the middle of the factory. I went to go look, but whatever it was so fast it was gone by the time I got to the window. I stepped out of the office and started looking the area over. I walked outside and looked, but saw nothing. Keep in mind, these motion lights don't pick up small animals. We've had cats, dogs, squirrels, and various other animals break in, rummaging for food, and they never set off a motion light. I then hear the toilet flush upon coming back in. These are also motion detecting, so I make my way to the toilet. The door is standing ajar, and I know for a fact it was closed. I then call the police. It takes them an hour to show up. They look the place over and tell me at first it was probably an animal. I tell them animals don't set off the lights unless it's big. He said honestly it could have been a vagrant looking for warmth, bathroom, and shower. We have all of these on the facility. Last night goes off without a hitch, nothing weird. We have a contracted guy coming in today, never been here ever, never even worked here. The first thing he says to me is, please don't think I'm nuts, but a lot of weird things happen out here. I asked him what he meant, and he said, all the motion lights kicked on and the toilets were flushing. I followed the lights that kicked on and went to the paint room. Big dark room with a bunch of paints, and shined my flashlight around and saw 2 big owl eyes staring back at me. I slammed the door closed and ran out to my truck, and I've never been here since 1 p.m. So he left and I immediately went to investigate but found nothing. Edit. Since then, not much has happened. We're getting down to the negatives in temperature, and I assume whatever it was may just be trying to keep warm. The only other thing to note to happen, which is probably completely unrelated, is the night before last the motion lights kicked on again. Not at all, just in one corner. I came out of the office and immediately smelled a rot, the smell of a dead animal. Couldn't find anything, but the smell lingered for a while. Well, there you have it, guys. 3 cryptid encounters: a Dogman, Bigfoot, unidentified creature. I've never heard of a creature like that in story 3. Definitely something I don't want to run into. Interesting enough, what caught my attention with both stories, the second and third, is the smell of rot. It's kind of eerie, that terrible stench from a cryptid. I don't recall any smell coming from my encounter. Of course, that was 20-something years ago, but if I smell anything like rot or garbage in the woods, I'm turning around and walking the other friggin' way. You bet your ass on that. If anyone's from West Virginia and have ever heard of the owl beast, I'd appreciate some info. Also, if you guys want to leave some comments below, please do. I love to converse with you guys. Thank you all so much for all the positive feedback you guys give me. Without you guys, this channel would be nothing. Thank you guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you on the flip side.